is G Boy, and today I'm gonna present about the autobiography about myself. So, a couple of things about myself. My name is Lin Chi Ngọc Boy, but I only go G Boy for short. I grew up in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, which is the south of Vietnam. I've been growing up here for the whole life, and I did move to Albuquerque until ninth grade. Um, this is the city that I've been living with. It's very huge. It's the main economic city in the country, so obviously there's a lot of buildings, like tall building and stuff. And this is the flag of my country. I've been thinking about a lot about this slide, and when it comes to homes, people usually think about the originate location that they've been growing up with. But for me, home is like more than that. Home is basically the place that you interact with your friends, your family members, people that you feel comfortable around with. Um, so over here, I have my like blood related families. Obviously, I have my grandma over here, and this is me. I would say like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a long time. Here also my parents and my younger sister. But also over here are my friends that I made in Albuquerque. Some of them are already like high school friends, and I've been knowing them for like 7 years now. And some of them I just know like literally in my second year of college, but I already feel that we like best friend forever. And I think my home is like very diverse because I can have friends from like a Hispanic culture or Mexican American cultures. Um, or even have like wine stuff, and it's just like a lot of like ethnicity together. My friends over here should even like half black and half Hispanic, which also like very interesting to me because growing up in Vietnam, I just mostly like hanging around with like Asian people, and we weren't been like really educated well enough about other ethnicities. Not until I moved to Albuquerque. So the languages that I interacted with, I mostly speak in Vietnamese, which is my mother tongue. I also speak Vietnamese over here in Albuquerque because the Vietnamese community over here tend to grow huger. So I'm glad I have someone from my community to speak with. I also use English most of the time over here, obviously, and also back in Vietnam as well. I did have some internship in back in Vietnam that required like English translation or English speaking skills. So I use English most of the time if I went to work in Vietnam. I also speak a little bit of Japanese. I've been taking Japanese as my minor at UNM. I'm still working on it though because it is a hard language. Um, so over here is my Vietnamese language. This is the Vietnamese alphabet or Vietnamese phonology. So you can see it's kind of like similar to English because it is a Latin alphabet. But the only difference is that we use more about tone and more of the diacritic vowels. So for example, over here we have A, right? We will say A in English for this letter, but in Vietnam, you pronounce it as A, and then A, and then So like you see, it's more about like the tone that you use. Um, I love every language that I've been studying and speak with, but sometimes I feel there's certainly a bias sometimes, which is I think English as a privileged language. English is becoming kind of like a mandatory language in my country now. It been taught at school most of the time, but people been using it for now because there's a lot of foreigners come to Vietnam to visit, And because of that, a lot of people, even though they don't being trained with English, they tend to use broken English to interacting with these foreigners, tourists. So, like I said in the last slide, English is kind of like a mandatory subject, and it still is a mandatory subject in Vietnam school. And this really caused me a lot of struggle back in the day, because how Vietnam school teach English is that they only focus on grammars and vocabularies, and they don't even let you use this skill to apply in real life English conversation. So when I moved to Albuquerque, I feel very struggle. I know how to speak English, but I cannot comprehend what people say because people back in the day they speak too fast for me. And even now, sometimes it's very hard for me to think of a word in English. I've been trying to like building up my English vocabularies day by day, but it is still hard because it is my second language. Also for Japanese, it is also very challenging because they have a lot of Chinese characters. I think there's over like around 1,000 Chinese characters that I need to memorize, but it is very hard. So like over here is an example of not even like the full Chinese character that you need to memorize in Japanese, which is very hard. But I think these challenges kind of like help me to have like a motivation to study more languages as well. Since I am a bilingual student, I tend to like apply what I know about Vietnamese and English into my schoolwork as well. So over here is a poetry book that I have been working on during my high school year, and it is for my capstone project. The title is From What I See by me, and it is just a poetry project that reflects on my life, language learning process, and other people's perspective. So in the poetry book, I include a lot of images from Albuquerque and the place I've been visited, and also like Vietnam as well. Even though the book is mostly written in English because that's a requirement of the project, but I still writing it in the perspective of a bilingual. So over here are the samples of the poetry book. Unfortunately, I only printed 10 copies and I lost the original file, so I cannot give the class the full views of the poetry books. So this is the picture of a chihuahua that I've been taking in Vietnam, and like I love animals, so I put this picture to represent my own personality within the poetry that I wrote. In conclusion, each language has their own unique characteristic, and we really should embrace it. Although English is a useful language tool to help us communicate with other people in the world, but don't you should not use it as a privileged language to make you feel better to other people because each language has their own beauty in it. So no languages is better than the other one. Also, keep your mother tongue if you still speak it because it's very beautiful. Or if you don't know how to speak your mother tongue, then you should learn it if you have a chance. And then just be more curious. Start a word and travel more if you can. Because when you travel the world or study abroad in other countries, you will think and have a different perspective about languages. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.